There he is. Donovan McNabb. Donovan.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Big Five?
We want to know what's up from you.
All right.
Hey, I'm just kidding.
Huh?
Just kidding. So, so I guess just first question, sort of an ugly game yesterday. What was your biggest takeaway from the win yesterday?
Well, defense played well. I thought defense and special teams played well. Offensively, we did what we needed to do in order to win. Obviously, we got to clean up a few areas to make sure that we're efficient and being able to stay on the field offensively. It's going to happen. It's just the first game back for Jalen, so I expected it kind of to be rusty in the way that it went. I would have wanted us to run the ball a little bit more, even Saquon at least take it to the one and take it down instead of going down as soon as he got the first. But other than that, it was what I expected from our football team. I kind of was looking for Green Bay to make it a little bit more competitive on the offensive side for them. But I'll take the win. The win is a win.
Yeah, when you look at the defense yesterday, I know we'll talk to you a lot about the offense, but the defense yesterday I thought was the story of the game. They created 4 turnovers. How do you view it? Do you think this defense is one of those championship caliber defense, meaning could this be a team that's sort of led by the defense in your opinion?
I would say it's a little bit more balanced than probably people give it credit for, Ike. I look at it as a sense we're seeing a lot of what we kind of wanted to see but didn't get it early on in the season from our front 4. And then our linebackers being able to roam. Obviously, losing Dean is going to hurt a little bit, but I think this is an opportunity for Trot to get his time to shine. But I look at it in a sense for our secondary and the way they've been playing to our front 4 being able to apply pressure. And then offensively, like I talked about our identity in the beginning of the season of running the football and then play action game. I thought we got a little bit too happy with the passing game in the second and third quarter instead of continue to run the football and utilize the intermediate passing game to kind of get our quarterback kind of back in rhythm. But yet still, we'll take it. It was a defensive game for us, and I think offensively we'll continue to get better.
Donovan, it seems like the challenge would be, and if like let's say you're calling the plays at the time, and Green Bay is showing you we are prepared for Saquon to run the ball.
Right.
Like, what do you do as a coordinator when they're basically begging you to throw the ball and they're telling you we're going to do everything we can to stop Saquon? Because I understand the idea with continuing to give him the ball, but I guess from a coordinator perspective, it's like you see what's there and to take it. So how do you balance that?
Well, you got to continue to run the football. It's about the attempt. Because with the attempt being high, that sets up more for the play action game. Because at some point as a defensive coordinator, when you realize that they are going to continue to run the football and get 3 to 4 yards of pops, now you're going to change up your defense, and now that forces them to play a little bit of man on the outside instead of trying to play that bracket coverage and keep everything in front of them to eliminate the big play. There's ways of playing the chess match, and you have to be able to kind of dictate what you want from that defensive coordinator. And if you continue to just play into their hands where we're just throwing the football and your quarterback is just his first game back after concussion, then you're hoping that kind of things get back in the good graces. But it didn't. And so I just think for our team, I think Kellen Moore really has to continue to lean on what got us to where we were, and that's being our run game and the play action game, and just kind of go from there.
Yeah. We've talked about Jalen today, and we hadn't seen him for almost a month. Like 3 things. So we didn't know what to expect from him yesterday, but as we do here, we're going to analyze how he played yesterday. Just your thoughts on how do you think he played yesterday?
He looked like a quarterback coming off of a concussion, a week being out. Thought he protected the football. I know everybody wanted to see him take some shots downfield, but like you talked about, their defensive coordinator was trying to keep everything in front. And so the shots that we were trying to take, he ended up kind of hitting the check down and hitting the underneath route. And so, yeah, I know there's conversation of our receivers not having a lot of catches and things of that nature. That's going to continue to evolve. But, again, I thought it was a good game for him to kick the rust off a little bit, get back in rhythm, and get back to practice here on Wednesday.
Here's a question from a quarterback and a defensive perspective. What did they do that you saw to sort of get Jordan Love to turn the ball over? The Zach Bond interception almost looked like there was nobody there. And for them to get 3 interceptions off of Jordan Love, and I know he'll turn the ball over, but 3 in one game is pretty impressive. Were they doing anything to force him into doing those things?
Well, 2 of those interceptions kind of just landed to us, and that being the first one, that was just a great play by Darius Slay of keeping his head around, keeping eyes on the ball, and just finishing. The last one was like a Hail Mary. And I would say more the one that Vaughn picked off. That was him just baiting, which what happened on that particular play, the guy that would have held Vaughn down fell after chipping the tackle, and that being the tight end. After he fell and got back up, he wasn't able to get to his spot, so Vaughn began to drift. And Jordan Love kind of assumed that Vaughn would kind of be just in that spot, and he can kind of go over his head or ear hole him a little bit. But Vaughn did a great job of just fading into the zone, picking off that pass. And that's just a credit to really him, and it's just kind of everything that's happened of just kind of reading his keys and being able to be in the right spot.
You got a chance to watch a lot of football this weekend. We got one more game tonight. Our opponent is our next week opponent will be one of these 2 teams tonight. Are you leaning towards either one of these teams that you think we match up more favorable with?
Well, personally, I think we match up very well versus the Rams. I think it kind of works in our favor a little bit, what they do defensively for what we can do offensively. And we've seen them this year where Saquon pretty much is still running from that game.
Yeah.
And so I would think that's more of a favorable matchup for us. Then the Vikings, I think Flores has really got that defense flying around the ball. And offensively, Sam Darnold has had he's going to probably be comeback player of the year by the way he's been playing. And we've seen Minnesota over the last couple of seasons in the playoffs. So it's one in which I would think the Rams would be a better matchup. Now, us playing against the Vikings still would be a good game, and I think we're the better team. But I'll probably take the Rams.
What did you think of the quarterback play overall this weekend?
Well, Justin Herbert struggled. And everyone has had Justin Herbert in the top 5 since after his rookie season. And I've continued to say he's got to prove himself, and he hasn't. Jordan Love, he struggled. I would say Bo Nix played better than probably people expected against Buffalo. It was just a tough matchup, which they weren't able to be consistent after that first drive. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson has played up to MVP caliber, and we've seen that all season, and that's going to be a great matchup. And then I would say probably as far as the Houston Texans, people probably may not need to sleep on them. C.J. Stroud and that defense, they're coming, and so it's going to be an interesting game against them in Kansas City.
Stroud is interesting because when he looks good, I know this will sound basic. When he looks good, you can see it. Man, he looks great. You know what I mean? But he just doesn't always look in rhythm. It's been a weird year for him.
It has, and I think a lot of people are still kind of banking on what happened last season in his rookie season, and they were looking for that. It's the second season around. People kind of get film on you, and then also, there's some ups and downs. Obviously, losing Dial, and then also Nico Collins was kind of a scratch from the very beginning in the Diggs situation. They were just trying to get into the fold, and then he gets hurt. So there are a lot of factors involved over there with Houston. But then let me throw one more in there that, the Commanders and the way they've been playing. We've seen them twice this season.
Jaden Daniels is unreal, man. For a rookie, it's incredible.
He's been playing outstanding. But then again, just like what we just talked about, he's playing the way C.J. Stroud played, but a little bit better. And so last year, C.J. Stroud was Jaden Daniels. And so we'll see how far they take this thing, because it's going to be a tough matchup for Detroit with the way Washington is playing.
All right, Donovan. Well, hopefully we're talking to you next Monday after another win. Mm-hmm. And then, if the Eagles in the Super Bowl, are we going to see you in New Orleans?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I may have some reading to do.
He'll be there.
You know I'll be there.
He will be there.
I might have some reading to do.
How about that, Fa? Yeah, the reading on the bench, man.
Yeah.
That was.
You ever see a wide receiver read?
Anything. I go get into that.
All right, Donovan.
Let's just make sure he don't bring his book next day.
All right, brother.
All right, Donovan.
All right now.